In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to feel like we're drowning in a sea of stress and uncertainty. Yet, there's a way to find calm amidst the storm, a path to inner peace that has stood the test of time. Picture this: despite everything that's thrown at you, work pressures, personal conflicts, unexpected challenges, you can stand firm, unshaken, and serene. This isn't just a dream. It's the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us how to master our emotions and reactions to live a more fulfilled life. Today, we're diving into the heart of Stoicism, exploring 10 timeless principles that can transform the way you navigate life's inevitable ups and downs. These principles are not abstract theories, but practical tools that you can apply every day to build resilience and inner strength. Whether you're struggling with a difficult relationship, feeling overwhelmed by your responsibilities, or simply seeking a deeper sense of purpose, the wisdom of Stoicism offers profound insights and practical strategies to help you thrive. Stay with me as we journey through these powerful Stoic teachings, from learning how to maintain a firm purpose in life to mastering the art of emotional control. Each principle is a stepping stone to a life where external events no longer dictate your inner peace. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge and tools to cultivate a state of calm and confidence, no matter what life throws your way. So, let's embark on this transformative journey together and discover how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can help you achieve unshakable tranquility and true happiness. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button and don't skip any part of the video. Principle number 1. Firm purposes. Imagine setting sail on a vast ocean without a clear destination. You drift aimlessly, subject to every shift in the wind and wave. That's what life feels like without a firm purpose, directionless and vulnerable to external forces. Epictetus emphasized the importance of having clear, firm purposes. He said, "Difficulties show a person's character, and the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it." This isn't just a philosophical musing, it's a call to action. When you have a firm purpose, it's like having a compass that guides you through life's tumultuous seas. This purpose doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's crafted through moments of deep reflection on what truly matters to you. It's not just about career goals or personal achievements, but also about the principles and values you want to dedicate your life to. What do you stand for? What kind of person do you aspire to be? These are the questions you need to answer to find your firm purpose. Once you identify your purpose, it acts as an anchor, grounding you amidst the chaos. Life will throw challenges your way. This is inevitable. But with a firm purpose, these challenges become more manageable. They turn from insurmountable mountains into stepping stones that you can climb. Think of it this way: when your goals and values are crystal clear, the world around you seems to shrink. Colossal challenges become small steps in the journey towards your ultimate purpose. This inner strength, cultivated through Stoic wisdom, cannot be easily defeated. A firm purpose is not something you stumble upon by chance. It's the result of deliberate deep reflection on what genuinely matters to you. This reflection requires time and honesty. You must dig deep into your soul beyond the superficial desires and fleeting wants to discover what truly drives you. This might involve re-evaluating your life's direction, shedding old habits, or embracing new perspectives. It's a continuous process of self-discovery and alignment with your true self. Once you've found this purpose and ingrained it into your heart, the next step is to apply diligence to protect and nurture it. This involves perseverance, and a steadfast commitment to your goals. It's about showing up every day even when the going gets tough. It's about pushing through setbacks and failures, knowing that they are part of the journey. Remember, a firm purpose isn't just a destination. It's a guiding light that helps you navigate life's journey with confidence and resilience. Think of a firm purpose as a beacon in the night. It not only guides you, but also provides a sense of security and stability. When life's whirlwinds try to pull you off course, your firm purpose acts as a lifebuoy, keeping you from sinking into the sea of emotions and difficult circumstances. This is the power of Stoicism. It's not just a set of rules for living, it's a profound understanding of the power of will and determination. Epictetus reminds us that true power lies in our ability to stay committed to our purpose despite external obstacles. In the light of this philosophy, nothing is impossible and nothing can shake your resilient spirit. So, take some time to reflect deeply on your purpose. Write it down, internalize it, and let it guide you. This firm purpose will be your anchor, your beacon, and your unwavering guide through the storms of life. Principle number 2, guarding your mind. When someone offends us, it's natural to feel hurt and want to retaliate. But here's where Stoicism steps in with a powerful lesson. Our emotions are the result of our thoughts and personal perspectives. This means we have the power to choose how to respond to any situation. Instead of letting offense overwhelm us, we can see it as an opportunity to strengthen our patience and self-awareness. Think of it like this. Every time you resist the urge to react impulsively, you're building a mental muscle. You're training your mind to remain calm and composed, no matter what. Mind control is not just a skill, it's an art that requires daily practice. Start with small habits that help you regain control over your thoughts. For instance, set small, achievable goals every day. Each time you accomplish a goal, no matter how minor, you build self-confidence and reinforce your ability to control your mind. Focus on living in the present moment and deepening your understanding of your emotions. When you start to realize that you have the power to choose your reactions, you'll become resilient to challenges and less swayed by negative emotions. Consider the story of a baker who dedicates every day to perfecting their craft. This baker isn't swayed by excessive criticism or praise. They focus solely on improving their skills, paying no mind to external opinions. This single-minded dedication allows them to achieve true freedom and inner peace. Similarly, by guarding your mind against external influences, you can focus on your own growth and well-being. Guarding your mind also involves setting boundaries. Be mindful of what you allow into your mental space. Just as you wouldn't let garbage into your home, don't let negative thoughts, toxic people, or harmful media clutter your mind. Surround yourself with positive influences that uplift and inspire you. Read books that expand your knowledge. Engage in conversations that challenge and grow your thinking, and spend time with people who support and encourage you. Stoic philosophy isn't just a classical discipline, it's a powerful tool for modern life. By learning to control our minds and handle our emotions maturely, we can achieve genuine peace and freedom amidst a volatile and uncertain world. This isn't about suppressing emotions, but understanding them deeply and responding in a way that aligns with our values and purpose. One practical technique is to practice mindfulness or meditation. These practices help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, creating a gap between stimulus and response. In that gap lies your power and freedom. By regularly practicing mindfulness, you train your mind to observe without immediately reacting, giving you greater control over your emotional landscape. Another aspect of Guarding your mind is cultivating a growth mindset. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than threats to your comfort. When you encounter difficulties, remind yourself that every obstacle is a chance to become stronger and wiser. This shift in perspective can transform how you experience adversity, making you more resilient and less susceptible to negative influences. Remember, guarding your mind is a lifelong journey. It's about consistently choosing to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your responses, and your attitudes. It's about rejecting the victim mentality and embracing the prosy role of an active creator of your own experience. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and soon enough, you'll find that external events have less and less power over your inner peace. Principle number 3. Handling criticism. Epictetus taught that we cannot control the opinions or actions of others, but we can control how we react to them. This principle means that even when someone criticizes us harshly, we have the power to decide how much that criticism will affect us. In today's world, this translates to accepting that everyone has their own perspectives and values, which may not always align with ours. It's normal to encounter differing opinions and sometimes harsh words. What matters is how we process and respond to these situations. The first step in handling criticism is understanding ourselves deeply. When you have a clear understanding of your motivations and the reasons behind your actions, criticism from others loses its sting. If you know you are acting according to your values and principles, negative words from others become less significant. This self-awareness creates a strong foundation that protects you from being easily swayed by external opinions. When faced with criticism, instead of reacting defensively, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself if there is any truth in the criticism. Sometimes even harsh feedback can contain valuable insights that can help us grow. This doesn't mean you have to accept all criticism as valid, but being open to considering it shows maturity and a willingness to learn. Stoicism also teaches the importance of patience and gentleness. Patience allows us to maintain our composure and not react hastily or negatively to criticism. Gentleness helps us maintain good relationships with others even when they disagree with us or criticize us. Think of the lives of saints and ascetics who faced harm and insults with patience and kindness, always holding fast to their chosen path. By practicing patience and gentleness, we can handle criticism without letting it disrupt our inner peace. Handling criticism also involves developing a thick skin. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or ignoring feedback, but rather building resilience. It's about understanding that not all criticism is about you. Sometimes people criticize others because of their own insecurities, frustrations, or misunderstandings. By recognizing this, you can depersonalize the criticism and not let it affect your self-worth. Remember that you have the power to choose your response. This freedom is central to Stoic philosophy. Just because someone criticizes you doesn't mean you have to accept their judgment as the final word on your character or abilities. You can choose to take what's useful and discard the rest. This selective approach to handling criticism allows you to grow without being weighed down by negativity. Engaging in constructive dialogue is another effective way to handle criticism. If the criticism comes from someone close, like a friend or family member, consider discussing it with them. Ask for clarification and express your perspective calmly. This not only helps resolve any misunderstandings, but also strengthens your relationships by fostering open communication and mutual respect. Handling criticism effectively can inspire others. When people see you responding to criticism with grace, composure, and a willingness to learn, they are likely to admire your strength and follow your example. You become a role model for resilience and emotional intelligence, embodying the principles of Stoicism in everyday life. Principle number 4. Transforming offense. Epictetus taught that what frightens and dismays us is not the events themselves, but how we think about them. This means that when someone offends you, it's not their words or actions that hurt you, but rather your perception and reaction to those words or actions. In other words, the power lies within you to decide how much an offense will impact you. This principle is liberating because it shifts the control from external circumstances to your internal world. Transforming offense isn't about denying your emotions. It's natural to feel hurt or angry when you're offended. Stoicism teaches us to acknowledge these emotions without being controlled by them. It's about creating a space between the stimulus and your response. In that space lies your power to choose a response that aligns with your values and long-term goals. One practical way to transform offense is through cognitive reframing. When you feel offended, try to look at the situation from a different angle. Instead of focusing on the negative, ask yourself what you can learn from this experience. This doesn't mean you have to agree with the offender, but it allows you to extract any potential lessons and grow from them. For instance, if a friend criticizes your lifestyle choices instead of taking it personally, consider if there's any merit to their observation or if it's an opportunity to affirm your commitment to your values. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of empathy. When someone offends you, try to put yourself in their shoes. What might they be going through that caused them to act this way? This perspective can help you respond with compassion rather than anger. It's not about excusing bad behavior, but about understanding the human condition and recognizing that everyone has their struggles. Another powerful technique is to practice forgiveness. Holding on to offense and resentment only harms you. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. By choosing to forgive, you free yourself from the burden of negative emotions. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the offense, but rather releasing its hold on you. It's a gift you give yourself, allowing you to move forward with peace and clarity. Stoic philosophy also teaches us that true strength lies in embracing and overcoming difficulties, not in avoiding them. Every offense you encounter is an opportunity to build your resilience. Just like a muscle grows stronger through resistance, your character strengthens through facing and transforming offenses. The more you practice this, the more naturally it will come, until you find that external events have little power to disturb your inner peace. Remember that transforming offense is a practice. It's not something you perfect overnight. It requires patience, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. Each time you choose to transform an offense, you're reinforcing a positive habit and making it easier to respond constructively in the future. Principle number 5. Overcoming fear and shame. Let's talk about the two quietest killers of our peace: fear and shame. You won't always see them coming. They don't burst through the door loudly. They sneak in, through hesitation, through overthinking, through that small voice inside that says, "You're not ready, you're not enough. They'll laugh, they'll judge, you'll fail." And we believe it. Fear is the shadow of every what if. Shame is the echo of every should've, that, and both live in our minds rent-free until we decide to evict them. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." That includes our fears, that includes our shame, because neither are about reality. They're about the stories we tell ourselves about that reality. Think about it. What are you afraid of, really? Is it failure? Or is it what failure might make others think of you? Are you ashamed of what you did, or of what people might say if they found out? You see, fear and shame don't come from events. They come from interpretation. And that's good news. Because if we can change the lens, we can change the experience. Let's start with fear. Fear thrives in the unknown. The more we avoid something, the bigger it gets in our minds. So the Stoic way? Face it. Not all at once, but piece by piece. If you fear judgment, speak anyway. If you fear rejection, ask anyway. If you fear failure, anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else matters more. And the Stoics chose virtue over comfort, purpose over paralysis. Now shame. Shame is trickier, because it tells you you are the problem, not just what you did, but who you are. And that's a lie. You are not your past. You are not your worst moment. You are not the voice that tries to shrink you inside your own body. Stoicism teaches that we all fall. That's part of the human experience. What matters is how we stand back up. Did we learn? Did we grow? Or did we let shame convince us we're forever broken? The antidote to shame is honest reflection and self-forgiveness. You want to reclaim your power? Own what happened. Not in guilt, but in clarity. Say, yes, that was me. Yes, I did that. But I've changed. I'm still changing. Shame only sticks when we hide. But when you bring it into the light, when you speak it, write it, face it, it shrinks. It can't breathe in the open air. There's a freedom that comes with no longer hiding from yourself. And Stoicism, at its heart, is a philosophy of freedom, not external, but internal. Freedom from being ruled by fear. Freedom from being silenced by shame. Let's get practical. You don't need to conquer your deepest fear today. Start small. Speak up in that meeting. Tell the truth when it's uncomfortable. Stand tall when your instinct is to fold. And when shame shows up, whispering old stories, pause. Ask, is this true or just familiar? That question alone can change everything. And if there's something in your past that still burns in your chest, write about it. Don't post it. Don't perform it. Just face it. Because your healing doesn't need applause. It needs honesty. The more you face fear and shame, the less power they have. Not because they disappear, but because you stop running from them. And suddenly, you find yourself standing taller, speaking clearer, acting bolder. Not because you became fearless, but because you became free. So if this part of your journey is about learning to forgive, release, and rise, then let this be your turning point. And if that stirred something in you, type this below. I release fear and shame. And because once you do, there's nothing left that can hold you down. Principle number 6. Anticipating obstacles. Let's be real, life doesn't go as planned. You know that. I know that. And yet somehow we're still surprised every time something hits us sideways. We wake up expecting ease, and then traffic hits. We launch a project expecting praise, and then silence. We trust someone, and they disappoint. And every time, we react like the universe broke some kind of promise. But here's the thing. Life never promised smooth. Only movement. And that's where this Stoic principle comes, in premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. In other words, the practice of anticipating obstacles before they appear. Marcus Aurelius did it. Epictetus did it. Seneca wrote about it extensively. Why? Because when you expect hardship, not with dread but with preparation, you're no longer a victim of surprise. You become the kind of person who meets life on purpose. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's not about walking around paranoid, waiting for everything to go wrong. It's about removing the emotional shock when it does. The Stoics believe that most suffering doesn't come from what happens. It comes from being unprepared for what happens. Think about it. A delay doesn't break you. The expectation that things were supposed to be fast does. Rejection doesn't destroy you. The belief that this had to work is what causes the collapse. So how do you apply this? Start your day asking, what might go wrong today? What might test me? Not because you're calling it in, but because you're training your mind to respond instead of react. If the meeting gets cancelled, will I stay centered? If someone disappoints me, can I keep my power? If progress stalls, will I still move forward with integrity? This mindset turns every obstacle into a rehearsal. You don't wait for the storm to build your shelter. You build it before the clouds show up. Seneca said, "The wise man considers nothing unexpected. Everything is familiar, everything anticipated." And that doesn't make him cold. It makes him calm. You've probably noticed this in your own life. The strongest people you know aren't the ones who've avoided hardship. They're the ones who've stopped being surprised by it. They walk through setbacks with a different kind of energy, not because they don't feel pain, but because they expected the punch and tightened their core long before it landed. That's Stoicism in motion. Let me say it plainly. You don't need life to be easy. You just need it to stop catching you off guard. So instead of affirmations that say, "Today will be perfect," try, "Today, something might go wrong, and I'll handle it with clarity." Try, "Not everything will go my way, and that's okay. My values don't change." Try, "I'm not surprised. I'm ready." Because when you expect resistance, you train your mind to respond with rhythm instead of reaction. You create space between trigger and action. You turn obstacles into rituals, into chances to practice being who you say you are. And once you start doing that, you'll notice something strange. The obstacles don't get smaller. You get stronger. You stop crumbling. You start anticipating. And over time, you become the one people look to when things fall apart, because you're the only one who isn't shaken. That's not luck, that's practice. So, if you're ready to stop being surprised by struggle, if you're ready to meet every disruption with presence instead of panic, comment this below. I'm not surprised, I'm ready. Because life isn't trying to break you. It's trying to build the version of you that won't flinch anymore. Principle number 7. Inner strength and response. Here's the hard truth most people avoid. You don't control what happens, but you do control how you meet it. And that's where your real strength lives, not in preventing chaos, but in responding to it from within. We think of strength as physical, loud, commanding, but the Stoics saw it differently. To them, strength wasn't about how hard you could hit. It was about how little could shake you. And in today's world, that's more relevant than ever. Every day, something is trying to pull you out of yourself. An insult, a delay, a betrayal. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone ghosts your message. Someone questions your worth, your ability, your place, and your instinct. React, defend, prove, explode, withdraw. But here's what the Stoics mastered. They learned how to pause, how to observe before engaging, how to say, "Is this worth my peace?" before answering to emotion. That's inner strength. And it's not born in comfort. It's built through repetition, through choosing presence over panic, clarity over chaos, discipline over impulse. Epictetus said it clearly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So let's break that down. Something difficult hits you. Maybe it's personal, maybe it's professional. The first wave is always emotional. You feel it in your chest, in your breath, in your gut. You want to respond fast, loud, hard. But inner strength says wait. It says, I don't move until I'm centered. I don't react just because I'm triggered. I respond because I choose to respond. That gap between the trigger and the action, that's where your growth lives. And no one else can build that gap for you. You do it daily, in the small things. When you choose to let someone pass without barking back. When you step back from an argument because peace matters more than ego. When you give a measured reply instead of burning the whole thing down. And slowly, your nervous system rewires. You stop living in survival mode. You start leading yourself. That's what Stoicism teaches. You are not at the mercy of your first emotion. You are not a slave to your impulses. You are not a puppet being pulled by your surroundings. You are the architect of your inner world. And when that world is solid, still, clear, composed, then nothing outside can break it. It doesn't mean you become emotionless. It means you become emotionally sovereign. People will still test you. The world will still throw you curveballs. But your response? It won't be dictated by noise. It'll be guided by values. And that's strength. Not what you lift. Not what you post. But what you withstand without losing yourself. Because you can't always change what happens, but you can always choose who shows up in response. So when the moment comes, when you're tested, provoked, disrespected, pushed, don't ask, how do I win this? Ask, who do I want to be in this? And if that version of you is calm, sharp, collected, still, you've already won. So if this hits something true in you, if you're ready to start responding from strength instead of reacting from fear, comment this below. I choose calm, because calm isn't weakness. Calm is power refined. Principle number 8. Restraining actions. Here's something no one teaches us growing up. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you need to act on it. You feel anger. You feel disrespected. You feel anxious to respond, to fix, to fight back. And your body says, move now, do something. But that's not power. That's reflex. And the Stoics would call it exactly what it is. Weakness, disguised as urgency. You see, restraining action isn't passivity. It's precision. It's the ability to feel the fire rising and choose to stand still inside it until you can move with clarity, not chaos. Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. And that includes your responses, your reactions, your decisions. To act immediately on impulse is to abandon the power of choice. But to pause, to assess, to wait until the mind calms and the emotions settle, that's restraint, that's strength. We live in a culture of immediacy. React fast, post faster, comment instantly, speak without pause. And the loudest voices are mistaken for the strongest. But look deeper. The ones who actually shape the course of things aren't the loud ones. They're the ones who move with strategy, not noise. With patience, not panic. And that starts with restraint. So what does this look like in real life? It means you don't reply to the message just because you're triggered. You don't send that extra paragraph just to feel seen. You don't chase a feeling because you're afraid of losing momentum. You hold. You observe. You wait. Not forever. Just long enough to reclaim authorship over your next move. That's what most people miss. Restraining your actions isn't about suppression. It's about direction. You're not ignoring what you feel. You're choosing when and how to move so you don't waste motion. So you don't sabotage something that could have grown just because your ego wanted a quick release. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? That one question, asked honestly, can save you from hours, days of regret. Because once you act, you can't take it back. The words land, the choices ripple, and the damage, if made in haste, often costs more than the moment was ever worth. So the real warrior isn't the one who strikes fast. It's the one who knows when not to strike at all. Let me ask you this. How many times have you regretted what you didn't say versus what you said too soon? How many times has silence served you more than speaking did? How many times has one moment of restraint preserved something meaningful? That's not weakness. That's wisdom in action. And here's where Stoicism makes it practical. You don't have to repress your emotions. You just have to lead them. Like a horse pulling a cart, you can't let the horse drag you off course every time it gets startled. You hold the reins. You steady the path. You decide when to move and when to stay still. This doesn't mean you freeze. It means you move with control. And over time, that becomes your reputation. People feel the weight of your restraint. They know you don't act carelessly. So when you do speak, when you do act, it lands 10 times harder. Because it's real. It's deliberate. It wasn't rushed. So if you're tired of being hijacked by your impulses, tired of watching your reactions do damage, you have to clean up later. Start here. Restrain, not forever, just long enough to choose with clarity. And if that lesson struck something inside you today, type this below. I choose when to move, because power isn't how fast you act. It's how well you wait and still win. Principle number 9, the power of acceptance. Let's start with this. Acceptance isn't weakness. It's the beginning of real strength. Most of us were taught that if we don't like something, we fight it. We resist. We complain. We argue with reality. As if sheer disapproval could bend life into our shape. But here's the truth the Stoics lived by. Fighting what is only drains you of the energy you need to face what's next. Acceptance is not giving up. It's looking at the storm and saying, all right, this is happening. Now what can I do? Let's say you lose your job. It's normal to feel panic, disappointment, maybe even shame. But staying in that emotional loop doesn't solve anything. What does? Accepting the fact, not liking it, not romanticizing it. Just saying, it's real, so let's move. From there, you update your resume. You reach out to old contacts. You research roles that excite you. Suddenly, your energy is moving again because you stopped spending it resisting what's already true. Marcus Aurelius said it best. Objective judgment now, at this very moment. Unselfish action now, willing acceptance of all external events. That last part, willing acceptance, is key. It means you don't need everything to be perfect before you begin. You start from where you are, with what's in front of you. And here's where mindfulness becomes more than just a buzzword. It's the practice of sitting with what is without judgment. You don't have to like the moment. You just have to stop trying to rewrite it with your mind. Because once you stop arguing with reality, you finally get access to clarity. And clarity, that's power. Now, let's talk about perfectionism. So many of us are chasing perfect. The perfect partner, the perfect career, the perfect version of ourselves. And every time we fall short, we don't just get frustrated, we feel like we've failed completely. But here's the truth. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Acceptance means recognizing that flaws are not failures, they're features of the human experience. And ironically, the more you accept your imperfections, the faster you grow. Because you're no longer wasting energy hiding, pretending, or punishing yourself for being unfinished. And what happens when you accept yourself with all your flaws? You finally start living from authenticity instead of performance. That same energy applies to relationships. We all have expectations, and we all get disappointed because people don't behave like we want them to. They fall short, they forget, they let us down. But if you approach every connection expecting perfection, you will always be frustrated. Acceptance doesn't mean you lower your standards. It means you understand that everyone just like you is trying to figure it out. You don't excuse harmful behavior, but you stop demanding that people meet your internal script. And in that release, you create the conditions for actual connection, not control. Now, let's go even deeper. Acceptance doesn't mean passive surrender. It means looking at every challenge and asking, what is this teaching me? How can this make me stronger? You flip the script. You stop seeing adversity as something to survive and start seeing it as something to mine for growth. That mindset, that's what turns suffering into strength. And the final piece? Gratitude. Gratitude and acceptance are twins, because when you start seeing what's already here, you stop obsessing over what's missing. You stop living from scarcity. You start breathing in the abundance of what already is. And that shift, quiet, internal, powerful, can carry you through the darkest seasons of your life. So no, acceptance doesn't make you weak. It makes you available. Available for action, for clarity, for life. And if that clicked for you today, type this below: I accept, then act. Because when you stop resisting reality, you finally start reshaping it with strength that doesn't flinch. Principle number 10. Living according to nature. Out of all the Stoic principles, this one sounds the most poetic, and yet it's the hardest to live. Live according to nature. But what does that really mean? Is it about walking barefoot in the forest, giving up modern life and meditating by a river? Not quite. To the Stoics, nature isn't just the trees and oceans and skies. It's the fundamental order of life itself. It's the way things are, not how we wish they were, not how we try to force them, but how they naturally move. And living according to nature means two things. 1. Accepting that the universe has a rhythm and you're not the conductor. 2. Aligning your actions with your role as a rational, virtuous human being. Let's unpack that. Nature changes. It evolves. It doesn't ask for your permission to shift seasons or bring storms. It doesn't delay winter because you prefer summer. It doesn't freeze time for your convenience. It just moves. So the Stoic says, if I am part of nature, then I too must move with life, not against it. That means, when people leave, let them. When plans fall apart, accept it. When your body grows older, respect it. When time passes, move with it, not in denial, but in understanding. You see, suffering isn't just pain. It's pain plus resistance. You can't control aging, but if you cling to youth, you suffer. You can't stop change, but if you fight it, you exhaust yourself. Living according to nature means letting life flow through you, not constantly pushing back like you're in a fight you can never win. But there's another part to this principle, and it's personal. It's not just about nature around you, it's about nature within you. Your nature is to reason, to reflect, to grow, to live in alignment with virtue, not vanity. So ask yourself, are my actions aligned with my deeper nature, just my ego? Do I move from intention or insecurity? Do I react from impulse or respond with wisdom? Because every time you betray your own nature by lying, overindulging, acting from fear, you fracture your inner stability. You're not just going against values, you're going against yourself. And the Stoics believed that inner conflict, when you live in contradiction to your nature, is the source of deep, lingering unrest. That's why Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't saying, tune out the world. He was saying, tune into your design, be who you were made to be. So what does living according to nature look like today? It looks like choosing honesty, even when lies are easier. It looks like respecting your body instead of abusing it for temporary pleasure. It looks like letting go of what you can't control and putting everything you have into what you can. It looks like quiet mornings, disciplined work, deep conversation, laughter that's real, rest that's earned, presence that doesn't flinch, and a spirit that doesn't pretend. Living according to nature isn't passive, it's incredibly active. It means stepping back into alignment with life, with others, and most of all, with yourself. And when you do that, when your thoughts, actions, values, and direction all point the same way, you become unshakable. Not because life gets easier, but because you stop working against your own current. So if something in you is ready to return to that natural rhythm, to stop forcing, faking, or fighting, to live with less noise and more depth, type this below: back to nature, because the strongest version of you is the one who finally stops running from what's already inside. Now you know what they never taught you in school. Strength doesn't always look like action. Sometimes it's restraint. Sometimes it's clarity. And most of the time, it's silence held with purpose. The Stoics didn't live soft lives. They lived hard ones. But they met those lives with calm, with presence, and with unshakable principles. You can do the same. When the world pulls you out of yourself, go back to these foundations. Breathe. Respond. Choose stillness over noise, wisdom over impulse. And above all, remember that nothing outside can destroy you unless you let go of who you are inside. If this video gave you something real to hold on to, go ahead and subscribe. This isn't about content. It's about building something inside you that can't be shaken. See you in tomorrow's video.